Last week, we was focused on Balaam, who was what I would call a false prophet because he was not walking the ways of Yehovah. He was truly aware of Yehovah, but he was up for hire. He was up for gain. He was making money by using his gift of Yehovah for money. He was prostituting himself. People, this still happens today. This happens in local church and other organizations. There's nothing new under the sun. So let it not be known among us that we are not giving ourselves to the same teaching, the same errors of Balaam. Welcome to Reconcile, the kingdom where working towards becoming a harmony of the whole word of truth. My name is Patrice Robinson. Of course, as always, I appreciate you coming by here on today. We're going to go through the significant events of the book of Numbers, chapter 25 through 27. Chapter 25. So we left off from Balaam, and the children of Israel began prostituting themselves with the daughters of the Moabites. The children of Israel were now eating their food and worshiping their god of Baal or Baal appear. Then we have one of the sons of Israel who brings an actual Mennonite woman weeping at the entrance of the tent of meeting, the tabernacle. Eleazar pierced both of them because a plague had begun to start and had started killing, and it killed about killing the children of Yehovah, the children of Israel. It ended up about 24,000 people who have died of Yehovah's people, and his bloodline was given a covenant of peace and the priesthood. Chapter 26. This is a long chapter, but it's about conducting the census after the plague had actually wiped out more people. So there's a little bit more additional information in here. For an example, it was about Korah and those who died with him that were swallowed into the ground. It's important to understand the bloodline. Korah's bloodline was not completely terminated, so that bloodline did continue. So his sons didn't die. It was Korah and those who stood up with him. The Reubenites who were counted, remember some of the Reubenites joined Korah in that. The Reubenites were counted with 43,730. Simeon 22,200. Gad 4,500. Judah 76,500. Issachar 64,300. Zebulun 6,500. Manasseh 52,700. I actually like that name. There's a female named Nora from the tribe of Manasseh. Ephraim, or Ephraim for some, 32,500. Benjamin, 45,600. Dan, 64,400. Aser, 53,500. Naphtali, 45,400,000 in each one of the tribes, which give us a total of 601,730 people amongst the children of Israel. Now, the land was divided by these names. It wasn't that as it divided is today. The land was divided by the tribal names, and those who were smaller in group got smaller portions, and those who were larger got larger portions. Chapter 27. We have the daughters of Zelophehad, which is from the tribe of Manasseh's bloodline, has come to Moses because there was no sons for their sons to inherit the land. So to inherit the land, their father actually died along with Korah in the midst of his sin. So the daughters wanted to inherit the land, and this was granted by Yehovah. And then you will go in the additional chapters. In that chapter, you'll learn more on how he made some adjustments according to who is alive, according to the bloodline. This chapter ends with Yehovah calling Joshua to be the pastor, to be the shepherd of the first congregation, the assembly, the first church. Today's focus is the bloodline. The bloodlines are important. Without following and learning about the bloodline, you will just read the Bible and it would be like Bible stories, which really for some is just stories. The Bible isn't written by the leading of the Holy Spirit to just tell you stories. They're telling you about the Son, how to live, how to beat the enemy, and much more. the son meaning Yeshua. So I follow the bloodline the best way that I can. I want to mention in particular 2 bloodlines that actually for the past 2 weeks, maybe 3, that we kind of ran into. And that's the Moabites and the Ammonites. And their bloodline came from Lot. These were from the 2 young ladies who committed incest with their father due to they believed that he was the only male, the only person that's left here on earth. The eldest daughter, who was the mother, is the mother of the Moabites, and the younger daughter, who mothered the Ammonite. You should follow the bloodline, and you will find out more and more revelation actually comes to you just by following those bloodlines. The land of Moab is the land that Naomi and her family went to. What we have is Ruth, a Moabite, which we know the Moabites serve other gods, and Baal was one of them, and they serve other gods. But you have Ruth, who accepted salvation, accepted Yehovah as her king, who accepted Yehovah and the ways of the children of Israel. And so she became the bloodline of Yeshua. The book of Ruth isn't there for no reason at all. Just remember, every book, every letter, every writing, everything is in place for a reason, for us all to read and learn from. Join me on Saturday at 10 o'clock a.m. as we continue our journey through the Feast of Redemption. And then I will see you Tuesday next week for Torah Chat Points as we go through the book of Numbers, chapters 28 through 30. As always, man does not live by bread alone, but every word that proceeds out of the mouth of Yehovah. Have a blessed rest of the week, and thank you for joining me on today.